ज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर वासुदेव गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। So welcome all of you to the Srimad Bhagavatam class on Monday. Hare Krishna. So today we will be reading from Srimad Bhagavatam 10th canto, how Krishna killed Keshi and Vyamasur. So after killing Shankrachuda, Shri Krishna continued his herding cows, and this time he was in Vrindavan, at the bank of Yamuna. And then suddenly there is a huge sound which came, and that was Keshi. So this Keshi demon is in the form of a horse. And a brief history about this Keshi is that he was also there in Nandagaon much before Krishna's birth, when Krishna's grandfather Parjanya Maharaj was performing tapasya in one place which is called as Prema Tadaga Tirtha, that is called as Kshunnahar Kunda, that is near Pavan Sarovar, beyond Pavan Sarovar, little bit ahead of that. That was supposed to be the tapasthali of Nanda Baba's father, Parjanya Maharaj. So this Keshi demon came there and started creating some havoc. So troubled by this terror of this Keshi demon, Nanda Maharaj father decided to go to Gokul at the banks of Jamuna. So he left Gokul, he left Nandagaon, and he went to Gokul and he established himself over there. And there he got the 5 sons, which is including Nanda Maharaj. This is one history. And second history is just before Keshi was about to come, there is something called as induction orientation, which Kamsa is giving every time to his people. He's explaining that boy who is blue colored, that boy who wears yellow dhoti, that boy who wears peacock feather, who plays on flute. You have to catch that boy. He's a very young boy, maybe between 5 and 7 years. He has a brother who is fair color, looks like him only, but he wears blue color dhoti, so don't mistake him for that. Our target is the boy who is blue colored with yellow dhoti. So he was trying to understand exactly the description so that target may not be missed. And while this was going on in Mathura, where Kamsa is orienting Keshi demon, the horse demon, in Vrindavan, at bank of Jamuna, Balram is telling Krishna, "Oh Krishna, you are so famous for your playing flute and wearing peacock feather. Everybody praises you, everyone likes you, adores you because of your peacock feather and playing a flute. So can you lend those 2 things to me for a day, so I also can enjoy being adored by everybody?" So Krishna is so much loving to his brother that yes, no problem. Please take. Immediately removed his peacock feather and he removed his flute and gave it to his brother. Please, brother, my dear brother, please enjoy. So Krishna stayed back And then Balramji very graciously wore Krishna's peacock feather and took Krishna's flute and started playing and dancing with friends. He went to the bank of Yamuna. And at that time, Keshi came. So Keshi saw somebody with peacock feather with playing flute. So he did not pay attention to dhoti. And he came charging from long distance. And he attacked Balramji with his hind legs. With two, I think, front legs. He hit the chest of Balramji so hard that Balramji just fell on the ground and tumbled all the way back home to Nandagaon. It was such a hard hit. He was almost unconscious, Very bewildering. Balram is supposed to be source of all strength. But this is called as pastime. This is called as Leela. Balramji was so much of scared and he was so breathless. And he jumped into the lap of Mother Rohini and started drinking her milk. He was so scared and so insecure. And immediately he met Krishna and said, please take your peacock feather and flute back. I cannot bear it. It's a lot of big responsibility to wear this peacock feather and flute. It's not as sweet looking as it is. So Krishna took back the flute and took back the peacock feather, applied to himself, and he had heard the story that the horse demon had come, and he was sure that the horse demon will come again. And he was very nicely enjoying with his coward boy friends, herding the cows at the bank of Jamuna. And then what happened? Actually, he was standing in such a way that he was leaning on the shoulder of his friend, very relaxed way. There was no tension, no fear, no anticipatory worry. Nothing was there. So happy. So Keshi came charging with the speed of the mind, tearing the earth into pieces by his galloping legs. So his sound when he was shouting was like thundering in the sky and the clouds. He hit his tail so hard in the sky that all the clouds in the sky just shattered here and there. The horse that we see, we never see them hitting with the tail or hitting with their mane. We think it's so small to hit, how they will hit. But the mane of this horse was so long, it was like multiple hunters together, thousands of hunters on the neck. And there were thousands of hunters at the back in the form of tail. And he would just flip it off in such a way that the sky, the clouds in the sky would get shattered, in fear. It is said not even they got either and either, but they got chinna with chinna. That means they got completely destroyed. They lost the cloud form by the hit of the tail of Keshi demon. The speed was terrible, it was unbearable, terrifying all the Brijvasis by his neighing sound. That horse has got a very particular sound when we see in the movie, in the war going on, that tape is being played again and again. So that called neighing. Neighing means it's a very loud sound typical of horses. So all the Brijvasis got very, very scared and they called Krishna, Krishna, please save us. And then Krishna said, don't worry, I'm here to help you. And he just tied up his pitambar, tucked up in the higher level, getting ready to jump. And he was still standing very casually. And it is said that Keshi got irritated by the casual, fearless demeanor of Krishna. So he came so much charging, aiming his legs at the chest of Krishna, and he came running like thunderbolt, uprooting the earth. And with his front two legs, he aimed at Krishna's chest, running, he attacked, and Krishna dodged him. So his aim of two front legs hitting Krishna's chest got missed. And then his 2 feet came on earth, and the earth shook by the heavy thump of the 2 feet of Keshi. Then he shouted again, and that was resounding in the sky. But Krishna, when he dodged his 2 feet, he just caught hold of them. Instead of getting them hit on the chest, he caught hold of them, and with 2 hands, he whirled him in the sky so much. He whirled him in the sky so much that he threw him 8 miles away by the swing that he did. Like this, with 2 arms, he just swung like this. Keshi was thrown 8 miles away, but he came back. And he again with his tail attacked Krishna. Then Krishna this time held his tail, which was like multiple hunters, held his tail and turned him, and he threw him in the sky 800,000 miles high. And then Keshi took some time to fall down from 800 miles from the sky. And again, he shook his mane and shook his tail in such a deadly way that by his feet thump, the earth got completely shattered. And still he jumped and came back to Krishna. See, he has got 2 hits now. One time, 8 miles on the ground and 800,000 miles in the sky. And from there he has to fall down. So he must be so angry. And he was punched by Krishna as soon as he came down. With that punch, it is said that Keshi remained unconscious for 8 hours. So there was a break in the Leela. When Keshi was unconscious, in between, Krishna played with his coward friends. He didn't want to lose a single minute available to play. It was not such a joy for him to kill demon every time. He was mainly interested in playing with his coward friends. Mainly, he doesn't want to even lose 1 second without his friends, without playing with them. So he used all the time to play with his friends, and by the time again Keshi woke up. And then he held Krishna by neck and he lifted Krishna and he took Krishna 800,000 miles in the sky. Now Keshi is not an ordinary personality. It's not only Krishna threw him in the sky and he went 800,000 miles in the sky high. Keshi held Krishna by his mouth. He held his neck. So like the tiger, holds a deer and holds him for a long time till the breath is finished. Like that, Keshi held him. It looked like Krishna is finished. And then in the sky, you can imagine the situation. Now Krishna is in the mouth of Keshi. His neck is in the mouth of Keshi, right? And now Keshi is hitting Krishna with his legs, biting Krishna with his teeth, hitting Krishna with his mane, and by his feet also he is kicking Krishna in the lower body. Krishna is being attacked by 4 to 5 items of Keshi's body. So then, by repeatedly attacking Krishna with this variety of things, what Krishna did, like a baby picks up a kamandal and throws away, or like the air lifts the lotus and withers it away. He threw Keshi from the sky on the ground. And then Keshi fell on the ground. Krishna also came on the ground. And this time Keshi opened his mouth. And with this big open mouth, he attacked Krishna. He wanted to bite Krishna and he wanted to bite Krishna and he wanted to kick Krishna. Because the main strength of the horse is in his legs. All the power is in his legs. So when he came charging at Krishna with open mouth, what Krishna did? He put his left arm, left fist inside the mouth of Keshi. And his hand, it is said, all the way entered in the stomach of Keshi. Like hot iron rod, it was boiling. It was Krishna made by his mystic power, his hand like red hot iron. that started burning inside the body of Keshi. His stomach was burning, and then Krishna started expanding his hand along with his fist. So the fist went on growing, and then it was seen that the stomach of Keshi, it became bloated in a very huge size because Krishna's fist assumed a very big size. And then finally, it is said that it is explained here in Garga Samhita that like a incurable disease, asadhya rog, the hand of Krishna was growing and growing and growing and growing only. Keshi just couldn't tolerate the heat and the expansion and the choking up. And the whole stomach was bloating and like ascites, And then Keshi got suffocated. His pranavayu got stuck. And he started throwing tons and tons of stool from his guda, from his anus. His stomach got burst and he died on the spot. So this was the most scintillating and thrilling war between Krishna and Keshi. While Keshi was charging with full anger and full strength and was quite anxious about the whole thing, Krishna was very peaceful and playfully he was dealing with Keshi. That is a big difference between demons and Krishna. Krishna is not bothered or angry or something. He's very peacefully, playfully, we say in Sanskrit, Leelaya. As a matter of fact, pastime. Pastime you don't do with strain. You do pastime with ease and happiness and pleasure. So Keshi died being choked up by Krishna's hand, his stomach being cut open, and then immediately the horse form disappeared. And there was one divine personality with divine body. He had a crown, he had beautiful shining earrings, he had dazzling jewelry on his body. He came in front of Krishna in a very effulgent personality, very pleasant looking, very lovable looking, adorable personality. He came with folded hands in front of Krishna. And Krishna, he said, Krishna, I am Kumuda. My name is Kumud. I am the servant of Indra. I was very chivalrous. I was very effulgent. I was very beautiful also, handsome. And I had a specific service of holding the umbrella for my king Indra. Chhatra, Indra was Chhatradhari. So Chhatra was being held by this Kumuda as a personal servant, always moving around Indra. And then Indra somehow one time had a fight with Vritrasur, and Vritrasur was killed by Vajra of Indra. But Vritrasur was a Brahmin, although he was in a demoniac activity and body. But he was a Brahmin, so Indra got afflicted by Brahma Hatya Aparad of killing of a Brahmana. And then what happened? Indra was advised by the Deva Rishis that he should perform Ashwamedha Yajna. So Ashwamedha Yajna means Ashwa, the horse has to be there. So horse was selected, horse was worshipped with mantras, and the horse had beautiful effulgent white body like silk. He had beautiful white ears also. It was a very rare horse. Even today also, I have seen some photographs of Arabic horse, golden white color, golden yellow color, absolutely shining like sun. And it cost millions of dollars, but is owned by king. They're not sellable also. So imagine if today also the horse which I saw was so attractive and so effulgent. What to speak of the horse which was chosen by Indra for his own Ashwamedha Yajna. It was so attractive. The horse which was chosen for Indra's Ashwamedha Yajna was able to run with the speed of the mind. So watching such a horse which was selected for Indra's Ashwamedha Yajna, this Kumud got very attracted and he stole the horse and he went to Atal Loka. You can imagine the kind of crime that he has performed. He's supposed to be servant of Indra, supposed to hold his chhatra, like people who fan the king. He was holding the chhatra. And such a servant of Indra is stealing the very horse of fire sacrifice, Ashwamedha Yajna. And that too he stole and went to Atal Loka, down in the hellish planets. So there, naturally, when a horse is being stolen, the guards, that's called a Marutganas. Marutganas are another kind of demigods, they are like brothers of Indra, actually, in one sense, Marutgana. So, and then they are called Maruti also, Marutas. So these Marutgana, they chased this person to Atal and they arrested him and they brought him to Indra. And Indra saw Kumud, how dare you? You're supposed to be my servant and you steal my horse of my yajna. How dare you do that? I curse you that you yourself will become horse. And of the 2 Manvantara duration, 1 Manvantara is 14 yugas, No, 71 yugas, sorry, 71 Divya yugas. So 2 Manvantaras, that means 142 Divya yugas. You can multiply 142 by 43 lakhs 20,000 years. 43 lakhs 20,000 years into 142. These many years you will remain a horse and you will not get delivered. And then finally, Sri Krishna will come and deliver you when Sri Krishna will touch you. So this particular personality is answering the question of Krishna, who are you? And he is narrating himself, who was I and what I was doing and what I did and because of what I got this curse. He said, after 2 Manvantaras, after 142 Divya Yugas, I've got your sparsha, your touch. You touched me by kicking me, by holding my feet and whirling me in the sky. You touched me by when I held you in my mouth, and finally you kicked me also, and finally your hand went right inside my body, and because of that I got delivered today. Please make me your servant, my lord. Make me your kinkara. What is kinkara? Kinkara means kim karaha. What do I do? What should I do for you? That's the only question that person has. Kim karaha. And a lady like that is called kinkari. That means they have no their own separate individual existence. There exists only one, how to serve Krishna and how to serve Radharani. So by saying this, he surrendered his life to Krishna and he circumambulated Krishna, and that Tejasvi, effulgent personality, to take him came from Vaikuntha. And he ascended the aeroplane, and by ascending the aeroplane, all the 10 directions became filled with his own light. He lit the whole 8 directions, 10 directions by his own effulgence. And it is हिंदी में कैसे बताया है कि सारे दिशा मंडल को उद्दीपित करते हुए he went back to Vaikuntha. Such a glorious departure. All these people, they foolishly, out of greed or out of envy, they perform some mistake and then they are cursed. And as a result of the curse, what happens is that they meet Krishna. And apparently Krishna kills them, looks like punishing them. But in the end of the day, they go back to Godhead by the divine touch of Krishna. So after killing Keshi and this person were going back to Godhead, Krishna is standing as if, with no pride of killing Keshi, very humbly, without showing any pride, is standing. And demigod showered flowers and glorified Krishna with prayers. And this all happened at today's place, which is called as Keshi Ghat. Before I was mentioning at the bank of Yamuna. And now after killing of Keshi was done there, this whole ghat was called Keshi Ghat. And there's something very unique of Keshi Ghat. Today at Keshi Ghat, there is a Bharatpur palace. I'm sure all of you must have gone. But one thing you may not know, that during about 400 to 500 years ago, the Bharatpur palace had an underground tunnel where you can ride a horse and go from there to Bharatpur. All the way about not less than 40 kilometers. Now it is all closed. But when the Bharatpur kings owned this palace, they had made such a tall tunnel underground that they would ride the horse and go underground for safety also, for privacy also, for both purposes. And amazingly, this place is very favorite place of Krishna. Apart from herding cows and playful pastimes of his friends, Krishna stands there with threefold bending form. And Rup Goswami says that, my dear friends, that means addressing all of us, my dear friend, if any of you have any material desire, please do not go to Keshi Ghat. Because if you go to Keshi Ghat, you will see the black boy wearing peacock feather, playing flute, standing in threefold bending form. And when you look at him, the great Sham Sundar, the most beautiful blackish boy, you will lose all your material desires and all your attachments for which you will repent. So if you don't want to repent, please don't go there. So when we take people there and we tell this shloka to them, we say, ki, I'm sorry, already you are here. Before I told you this, you're already here. So you have no chance now to go back to the material world. You've already been at Keshi Ghat, and Krishna is watching you, he's playing his flute and standing in threefold bending form. So it's such a beautiful place. We don't see Krishna, but Krishna is always standing there with Radharani, glancing over all of us. So what does this Keshi represent? Keshi represents such a kind of pride where you think that I'm such a great devotee, I'm like a spiritual master. This happens to senior devotees who, after spending 30, 40 years in Krishna consciousness, wherever you go, people fall at your feet, touch your feet, wear garlands to you, speak sweet words of appreciation and respect to you, give you a special asan, serve you special food, and many people like that are there in the world who follow you, like you, who adore you, praise you. So slowly, many years pass, accepting all these garlands and respect and asana and everything. And slowly, the mind tells you, look, how great a devotee you are. You are almost like a spiritual master. You have so much of following. People fall at your feet. They love you, they adore you, they respect you. You must be a very advanced, great devotee of the Lord. Whenever that thought comes, my dear friends, please know, Keshi is attacking you. Keshi is attacking you with his mane, with his tail, with his legs, with his hind legs and front legs, and really biting you and chasing you. At that time, like the Brijvasis, when they were harassed by this sound and the hittings of the tail and the mane of Keshi, they said, Krishna, Krishna, please save us. And Krishna came and very easily and very lilaya, in a very pastime way, killed Keshi and freed the Brijvasis of the fear. So like that, Brajvasis were actually harassed. That's why they could call Krishna, Krishna. But when we are thinking that I'm a great advanced devotee, I'm not being harassed. I feel nice when when I see people falling at my feet, I feel so nice. I feel I'm such a wonderful devotee. Maybe I must be really a great devotee, even I may not know how great a devotee I am. Others are noticing how great devotee I am. So where's the question of harassment and pain and trouble to call out Krishna? So how do we know that we are harassed by Keshi? We will know it in the association of devotees. Some close friend of yours who loves you will tell you, Prabhu, I think it is becoming too much. Please don't accept so much of respect and so much of special treatment by people. Tell them, don't do this. Don't touch my feet. Don't do these reverential activities. It is not good for my spiritual life. So some friend will tell you. And that time when the friend will tell you, it will pinch you. It will hurt you. You will feel bad. You will feel this friend of mine is envious of me because he is not getting equal respect like me. But don't think like that. He is very merciful and kind. And is taking that opportunity or audacity in one sense to save us. Then, so a very unique thing happened when this Keshi came, he got killed, and then Krishna was walking further, and in a secluded place, Narad Muni meets Krishna. And Narad Muni takes Krishna in seclusion and starts glorifying him like anything. Said, I have witnessed you killing Bakasura. I witnessed you lifting Govardhan. I have witnessed you killing Aristasura. I witnessed you creating Radhakund and Shamkund. And now I know you're going to kill Vyomasur. Now I know you're going to be taken by Akrura back to Mathura. Now I know that you will go and kill the Rangakarmi, that's the Dhobi in Mathura, and you will bless Sudama, and you will kill Chanura, Mustika, Kolayapid, you will kill Kamsa. Huh? This world is very fortunate to have you amongst them, by which they will witness you performing such wonderful pastimes, which will purify them and take them back to Godhead. And I myself, I'm so fortunate, I'm Trikaladarshi, so I can see in past, present, and future also. So, Krishna, I'm very grateful to you. I'm very fortunate. By having your mercy, I can foresee also what's going to happen, and I'm already blissful what I'm going to see in future. So that way he praises Krishna and he leaves by offering pranams. And Krishna continues. And when Krishna continues, this time he goes right from Vrindavan, he enters Kamyavan. This mention is not there in Srimad Bhagavad, but this is there in Garga Samhita. And this is also there. We understand that when you go to Kamyavan, there's a place called Bhojan Thali. That is the place where Krishna would herd the cows and he would eat food in the cups and plates made out of stone in the mountain. That was one Rajakanya who actually one time accompanying her father in the war, first time saw defeat after 25 years of her life. She would always accompany her father and never saw defeat. But after many, many years of continuous success, her father got defeated and killed also in the war. So she could not tolerate the shock. So she left everything and she went in the forest of Kamyavan to perform tapasya. See, we have our HR expert here, HR experienced personality, Dr. Avinash Devlekar. You know that when you continuously go on becoming successful in life, it's a very dangerous situation. But when you lose something, then you gain something, then you again lose something, then you gain something, and you fail, and you again become successful. Then you become a seasoned person. Then defeats do not discourage you. But when you constantly become successful in life, it's a very dangerous situation. When the failure will come in between, it will destroy you. It will not just even, make you stand again in life, although after you have attained so much of success for so many years. That's why failure is called as beginning of success. You fail in the beginning, that means tomorrow you have potential of becoming a big successful man because you have seen the defeat. You have been able to digest that. You have been able to rise from that, not get discouraged and put your efforts again and again. So this lady got discouraged and all that Kshatriya spirit, everything was finished. She went to the forest, gave up his kingdom, her kingdom, and she performed tapasya and she pleased Krishna. And Krishna appeared and he said, what do you want? He said, I am. Now by that time she was away from all the attachments and everything. She became sadhu. And she said, I want to become a Sheela. And I want to create plates and glasses and bowls in me, in the stone. I want you to sit on me and eat your beautiful food while you herd your cows. So she became Indusen Sheela at the place called Bhojan Thali. And then she created in her body of stone beautiful plates, bowls and glasses. And Krishna oftentimes would come and spread his food in those bowls and plates and glasses and sitting in circles would enjoy that food. So that is called as Bhojan Thali. One time Balramji was sitting there and drinking milk alone in a hiding place. The cowherd boys located him, found him out, and they attacked him to catch that particular bowl of milk. And the milk spilled over in the fight that they had between Balramji and the cowherd friends. The milk spilled over Indusen Sheela, went down and formed a big pond called Kshirosagar Kunda. So Kshirosagar Kunda is right at the bottom of Indusen Sheela. And this is the favorite place of Krishna to eat his food. So there, after eating his food one time, that means after killing Keshi, when Krishna was playing there, Krishna thought, okay, let's play. After eating food, Krishna said, well, let's play. Let us divide ourselves into three groups. One of the groups should become sheep, act like sheep. Another third of group should become shepherds, who are protectors of the sheep. And the third of the group should become the police or should become the thieves. So the protectors are also police and also herders and like shepherds. But the third group is thieves. So thieves are supposed to steal the sheep gopas. And the shepherds are like police, they are supposed to save the sheep from the thieves. So let's start. So they got divided in three groups. So one group became sheep, running like sheep. Another group became like protector, and third group became the thieves. Started stealing the sheep gopas. And there came suddenly in between the stealing group of gopas, there came one gopa who was not a gopa, but was a demon called Vyomasura. And this Vyomasur took the form of a coward boy and he entered that group only because he wanted to slowly kidnap everybody, including Krishna and Balram, and kill them by putting them in the cave. Very interestingly, we should note here that when Sri Krishna saw this particular Gopa, it was a very beautiful looking Gopa with a very nice dress and tying some cloth on the head like everybody else. He was not a fool. He just dressed up exactly like the Gopas. But Sri Krishna noticed his eyes very subtly and told Balram in his ears, my dear brother, look at that coward boy. I don't think he came in the morning with us from our home. He has come out of the blue, from nowhere. And I think he's a demon. Look at his eyes are so ghastly. Look at his anger. Look at his revengeful eyes. I think he's a demon. And how they realized that he's a demon? Because suddenly they saw the number of the coward boys went on decreasing only. I mean, they're playing, they're not doing real game. They're just playing. That means they're supposed to be all in the same number. But Krishna Balram noted that the number of the coward boys is decreasing like anything. They all are disappearing. And that time they noticed that this particular coward boy, acting as a thief in the third group, is actually stealing all the gopas. And I don't know where he's taking them. And Krishna realized that he was picking up all the coward boys who were acting like sheep, and he were climbing mountain and he was putting them in a cave. And he had put a big block of rock, big rock he put in the mouth of the cave, and he choked up all the coward boys. And at that time, Krishna went and caught hold of this particular demon called Vyomasur. And suddenly, as soon as Krishna held him from behind, Vyomasur was like a small coward boy, about 5 to 7 year old, suddenly became a mountainous, gigantic, fierce personality. So Krishna also assumed a big form in front of him. They were like almost touching the clouds, both of them. And then both of them started fighting. And when they started fighting, they were feasting each other, they were punching each other, they were throwing each other, they were lifting and whirling each other. And they were jumping in the sky and taking rounds in the sky. That is called mandal. They're taking mandalas. And the earth started trembling. And Balramji was standing there. Balramji just, shook his dupatta and made it fall on the ground. And he put his thumb of the left foot pressing on the ground. And he told Mother Earth, don't worry, I am standing here to protect you. Don't shake so much. So where he stood and where his dupatta fell down and where he pressed the earth with the big toe of his left foot, today also there is a footprint of Lord Balram there. With the footprint is X deep, but the thumb is much deeper than the foot altogether. Because Balramji actually pressed the thumb to stabilize the earth, which was shaking out of fear. And then while this was going on, earth stabilized. And Balramji was, giving consolation to all the coward boys, remaining coward boys. And then Krishna fought with this demon so fiercely that at one point of time, Krishna jumped in the sky and came down on the mountain where the coward boys were hidden by the demon. So where he came down, at one point of time, he came down with his panja, with his palms on the hill. So there are palm prints on the hill. And one time he came down with his knees on the ground. Huh? So what happened then? There is knee prints also. And at one place in the mountain, his garland also was struck on the while he jumped, the garland also got struck on the mountain. So there's also garland print is there. So how many prints are there? In the mountain, there are handprints, footprints, knee prints, and garland prints at various places, different places. You have to just climb the mountain. I don't think you can ever go there with a yatra because it will take whole day to climb the mountain one by one, one by one. It's a very risky mountain. And on top of the mountain also you have to go, you'll find the garland print and footprint and the thumbprint. And at this particular pastime in Garga Samhita, it is explained, please listen very carefully, that if anybody sees those footprints and handprints and any other prints of body of Krishna on the earth or on the stone, they will never take birth again in the material world. So here we have Balram's footprint, many Krishna's footprints, Krishna's handprints also, and Krishna's mala print also. Garga Samhita assures us that whenever you see anywhere in the world the handprint and footprint of Krishna, that person will never take birth again in the material world. So after this fight, then finally Krishna kicked this demon, punched this demon on the head, and the demon died. So this Vyomasur is an anartha, unwanted thing that happens in us. The tendency that we have is to associate with thieves and rascals who consider themselves as avatar of the Lord. We are not thinking ourselves as avatar of the Lord, but we are kind of associating with people who are thinking that they are avatar of the Lord, which finally induces us also to think, oh yeah, maybe he's true. If you hear a lie 100 times, you feel the lie is truth. So the lie is that somebody is feeling like he's avatar, but you are in that circle for a long time, then you start believing that he must be an avatar of the Lord. That particular tendency of associating with people who are like this is represented by Vyomasura demon. This Vyomasura demon also had another interesting nonsense activity. There one time, there is some place called Kusum Sarovar. I'm sure you must be aware of that place. But when you walk towards Parikrama of Govardhan from Kusum Sarovar, you come to a place called Sham Kuti. And in Sham Kuti, there's a place called Ratna Singhasan. And there's a Ratna Kunda also there. Ratna Kunda is there, beautiful Kund, and also Ratna Singhasan. And that is a place where Radharani was seated on a Ratna Singhasan and was worshipped by gopis. And while this was happening, this Vyomasur came and displaced Radharani from the Ratna Singhasan and stole the Ratna Singhasan and flew in the sky. So this particular Vyomasur was finally killed by Krishna. So this is a place, the story of Kamevan. So somehow our today's Katha is over. You see that the place Keshi Ghat is supposed to be the ultimate place for someone to get his Daha Sanskar done. It is said that even if you die outside somewhere in the world, but fortunately, as per our will maybe, or fortune maybe, if our relatives bring our body to Keshi Ghat, and there it is burnt, for example, then there is no return for that soul. the soul will not return to the material world. When our dear Sham Krishna Prabhu left his body in Vrindavan, in Delhi, and he was brought to Vrindavan, we flew from Mumbai to Vrindavan. It was quite cold and dark by the time we reached. And our Radhesh Lal Goswami of Radha Vallabh temple was also there waiting for us. And he said, anybody who comes here after death and is cremated over here, he will not come back in the material world again. So that is exactly, Keshi Ghat is a big area. It's not the area which we only see, where the Bharatpur Palace is there. Yamunaji turns from there. Yamunaji takes right U-turn. And all that U-turn till Devra Baba Ghat. It's a very long distance. That is where the Brijbasis bring their deceased people's body. And there only they burn, and then that body is itself, while burning, when it gets about to start burning, they just dip the whole thing in the water, the body, and then they burn, and next day, whatever ashes are produced, they just put it in Yamuna straight. So it's all one show. It's not Da Sanskar, then Assi Visarjan, it's all together. But that place is the ultimate place to die or to get cremated. So Keshi Ghat is a very powerful place. Only thing is that Keshi is killed. That doesn't mean that, oh, Keshi was killed. That's the only thing. No. Krishna stands there stealing everybody's hearts, stealing everybody's attachments, and also giving liberation and Golok Dham to people who are cremated over there. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So if any of you have any question, then I would like to answer to my capacity. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Very nice class, Prabhuji. Looking forward to the next one. So, Prabhuji, can you tell us something about the pride? How we can, come to know when?
You need to have good friends. I can tell you that. Good friends means not who always praise you and always, appreciate you. A real definition of good friend means he has that kind of depth of relation with you where he can dare to, correct you, warn you, caution you, bring to your notice the follies that you are presenting in your behavior. In of ourselves, it is, I think, not possible ever to feel that I am proud, because you always feel you are doing right thing. What is there? Others feel that you are proud. Our pride is felt by others, not by us. We never feel I am proud. Okay. But others, others feel that pride. So it is said that you need to always create at least one friend minimum, if not more, whom you give freedom. You give that liberty. My dear friend, tell me, you can tell me anything what you like. You can tell me you're a rascal number one. I'm okay. I don't mind if you say that to me. If you have such one friend, then that one friend, out of love and kindness and like friendship for you, will tell you, my dear friend, you are proud. Don't be too proud. That's one. And then what do you do? Whenever even your dearest friend tells you that you are proud, it hurts, It doesn't feel so nice. Oh, my loving friend tells me you are proud. It's so wonderful. I feel so nice when my friend is telling me you are proud. It hurts. But even if you get hurt, you should say, thank you. You saved me before my pride makes me fall down, because pride always makes you fall down. Pride is a ladder from which one falls down. So you have saved me from falling down. So what should I do? Then the friend will tell you, okay, do this, do that. Don't do this, don't do this. Then we can save ourselves from pride. But pride is a sadhus in Vrindavan I've heard saying, aham ko chhodna koi khel nahi hai. Aham ko chhodne ke liye kripa ki zarurat hai. We need mercy of great saintly personalities, or Sri Krishna, Radharani, Nityananda Prabhu, Balaramji themselves. When we have that mercy, then we can hope to get freed from pride one day, And how do we get their mercy? If you serve their devotees who are dear to them and please them, then through their pleasure, we receive the mercy of these great personalities like Krishna, Balaram, Radharani, Nityananda Prabhu. And with their blessings only, we can hope to get cured of this pride. But of ourselves, within ourselves, we have no capacity to defeat our pride. That's our biggest difficulty. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji. If anybody else has a question for Prabhuji, you can unmute.
Yeah, I think we have to unmute them.
Yes, Prabhuji. If,
Yes, I've done that. Now you can open your audio and ask question. So,
Hare Krishna.
yes, yes.
Dandavat Pranam, Prabhuji.
Dandavat Pranam.
But Prabhuji, if we are buried at Keshi Ghat, you go back
Not
home,
buried. I
back to
didn't say
God.
buried. I said
Sorry.
cremated.
Yeah,
There's no
cremated.
burial
Yeah.
ground there.
Yeah, sorry. So, but also our karma also comes into action, right? Not just the place of, cremation.
Well, that place has that power to burn all your karma. That's one message. And second message, if your karmas are right there, then you're freed. If your karmas are not right and ripe enough, whatever you do, your body will not reach there. Whatever will you write, our body will not reach there. So you need a fortune also to be able to reach there. I may write in my will, oh, whenever I die, wherever I die, I wish I would die in Vrindavan. If I don't die in Vrindavan, I buy somewhere else. I keep this money. So you fly me out in a coffin in the cargo and bring me to Vrindavan and bring me to that place. And all that thing will be a very good wish and it may not be fulfilled. Maybe world war is going on that time when you die. And then, your money is, everything is there, with no flight available, no road available, no vehicle available. And then we have to be burned in Mumbai only. So, yes, will is good, desire is good, efforts are good. The final outcome is Ishwarecha Baliyasi. Whatever is controlled by Krishna, desired by Krishna will happen. And if you are eligible, then Krishna will make arrangements in the difficult times also to reach there and take us back to Godhead. And more important than that, than getting cremated there or dying there, more important is remembering Krishna while dying. And I mentioned to you in one of the class, Radhanath Swami Maharaj said that it is not important where you die and where you get cremated. So what is important is what you do, what do you think during the moment of death. It is important to remember Krishna during the death. That will take us back to Godhead. But these all factors are corroborative. They are favorable. If you die in Vrindavan while thinking of Krishna, if you are cremated in Vrindavan, so all these are favorable things. 1 plus 1, 1 plus 1, 2, 3, 4. But the most important one is to remember Krishna while dying. Thank you.
Can I ask another question?
Yes, please. Please ask.
Prabhuji, I want to know all the list of potent places, like you said, Keshi Ghat is a potent place, all the potent places, and compared to the one which is there in Mumbai, Ban Ganga. How potent is Ban Ganga?
You want to place in Mumbai, or where you want the places to know?
I'm sorry, you want to?
You want to know the places in Mumbai?
Yeah, potent places in Mumbai.
One is Ban Ganga. One is at the bottom of Mahalakshmi, Radharani herself. Huh? When the ocean is very pure, because all the pure rivers enter the ocean. So ocean is also supposed to be Mahodadhi, the holiest of place. The temple of Vishnu, temple of Hare Krishna movement is not different from Vaikuntha. Some of my devotee friends have died in temple. One devotee from Mira Road all the way went to Chandigarh temple and died in Chandigarh temple. Amazingly. So, if we have the fortune to leave our body in the temple, nothing like it. And another important place is to die surrounded by devotees singing the holy name of the Lord with love and affection for you. And that place can be anywhere. It can be next to the gutter also. If we die near the gutter and devotees surround us there and chant the holy name while we are dying, it's the holiest of holiest, safest of all holiest places. to save you from Maya's influence and take you back home, back to Godhead. The loving devotees are surrounded by you, surrounding you. There's no other better holy place than that, where loving devotees surround you and chant the holy name for you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Any
So
other
Prabhuji, the moment of your death, the time of your death is very important, no, Prabhuji, then?
Well, time of death is not important.
Like what you're doing at that
Important is our remembrance of the Lord. That is important.
Yeah.
What time you die during Chandra Grahan, Surya Grahan, in auspicious times when this nakshatra, that nakshatra, Mool nakshatra, Bhardi nakshatra, many people say these are all not good nakshatra. Panchakas are around when you die. All these are very inauspicious, bad things. But they have their own power of these bad nakshatra and bad times and panchaka and everything. But the power of remembrance of Krishna is much, much more, and they defeat all these so-called inauspicious things and make you victorious over all those things. So what we need to cultivate is the most auspicious thing of remembrance of the Lord. When you remember the Lord, nothing inauspicious can touch you, although their times are bad. When they were chanting Hare Krishna, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was born during Chandragrahan time, lunar eclipse time. In one sense, it was the most inauspicious time for anybody to take birth. But it was the most auspicious time because everybody in the whole universe was chanting Hare Krishna, including the Yavanas were imitating the Hindus chanting Hare Krishna. So, what is auspicious is when you remember the Lord, and what is inauspicious is when you forget the Lord. So you may get 500 crores of profit in your business and you forget the Lord, then it's very inauspicious for you. And you lose all your business and you remember the Lord, it's the most auspicious moment of life. So the ways the devotees see what is auspicious and what is inauspicious is totally different than the ways the materialistic people see auspiciousness and inauspiciousness. So we need to learn to appreciate auspiciousness in the most absolute sense, the most truthful sense, the reality sense, is that the name of Krishna, the remembrance of the names of Krishna, remembrance of Krishna's pastimes, remembrance of Dham of the Lord. You may be in Mumbai and you remember Vrindavan while dying. All this variety of remembrance of Krishna's Nama, Rupa, Leela, Dham is ultimately the most powerful thing to negate and defeat all the so-called inauspiciousness of the material world. That's why instead of worrying so much about what nakshatra, what place, what time, what muhurta, this, that, what we have to cultivate and focus our mind is to how to remember the Lord. Sukhe duke bhule na ko, bodhane hari naam koro re. Don't worry even for happiness and sorrow also. Pain and pleasure also, respect and disrespect also. Don't worry about that. Just remember to call out the holy names of the Lord. Sukhi dukhi bhule na ko. Don't forget to chant the holy name in the middle of the misery or in the middle of happiness, in the middle of respect or disrespect, in the middle of prosperity or destruction. Cultivate the remembrance of the Lord. That is the most important message that we are receiving all throughout our services, all throughout our pravachans, our whatever we do in Krishna consciousness. The message is to remember the Lord.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Any other question anybody has? Okay, so we thank everybody for your kind attention and listening to Srimad Bhagavatam. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.